Afternoon. I'm a few minutes early to my tutoring, so I thought I'd make this video. Um, so tutoring is something I've been doing probably since maybe halfway through first year. Kind of just getting some experience under my belt before the big exams season, and before admissions start in September. So I really enjoy doing tutoring. I probably do about 5 hours a week. I try and do it all on Sunday afternoon, just so it's not something I have to think about and schedule around all week long. Um, and being a student is expensive. The interest rates on student loans are very high as well. So it's a really good way to kind of get some of your own money in your pocket, some extra spending money. Um, it's something I thoroughly recommend to anyone. Either if you can find your own students, that's probably better than an agency. That'll take a lot of your money. But if you can't, I mean, doing it via an agency, I guess, is probably easier. If I could suggest a couple of tips for tutoring, I would say number one is try and stick to a schedule. So when I start tutoring, I can't be like, oh well, I'm free at this time. This time, what time are you free? It didn't, it's not great for them. It's not great for you. It's best to kind of just stick to time. To say, for example, Sundays at 2:30. Does that work with you? Yep. Okay, that's going to be our time then. Obviously, I can adjust occasionally, but that's going to be our time. Sundays 3:30. Does that work for you? That's going to be our time, and then kind of like that kind of system. And the second tip would be try and communicate any issues as far in advance as possible. Um, for example, obviously, uh, people are going to want a lot of lessons near their exams, but that's going to be near your exams as well. So that's what when you're going to be trying to tutor less. So it's important to explain that in advance. To say, for example, I've got coursework on this date, and I've got coursework on this date. And that means I'm not going to be able to do these lessons, and also I've got this 2 week exam period, which I'm going to have to miss this lesson as well. And obviously they understand you're a student, and most tutors will be completely fine with that. um, don't let tutoring go on top of you, I'd also say. That's very easy for that to happen, especially in September through to January, um, when there's Oxbridge admissions exams, entrance exams, and then Oxbridge interviews. So there's a lot of demand for tutoring, and people are willing to pay a fair amount of money. So it's very easy to be tempted into thinking, oh, I'm just going to tutor loads and loads of hours, and then your academics fall behind, or you end up missing out on other experiences. So yeah, I think tutoring is a brilliant way to make some extra money, and have some sort of regular routine, some sort of experience interacting with people in the real world, all of that kind of thing. And teaching can be quite rewarding, both financially and otherwise. Um, and yeah, that's all I really have to say about tutoring.